Welcome to the Oddity Shop, where the bizarre is always on sale.
What's up, oddballs? Welcome back to the Oddity Shop. I'm sitting here with the lovely curator, Kara. She is sipping on a nice little mocktail. For those of you who don't know, I'm the other curator, Zach, here at the shop. What are you drinking?
Well,
So dramatic.
I just swallowed as you asked me that. It is strawberry lemonade poppy, half of a can, mixed with club soda. Cut up some lemons, put those in there, and some kava.
That sounds really cool, but this isn't a podcast where we talk about drinks. This is a podcast where we talk about weird, creepy, bizarre, odd stories from around the world. So...
And y'all heard him ask me what I was sipping on.
I know, but I didn't care.
Clearly.
No, your mocktail sounds delicious. What else is new with you?
Nothing. It's February and it's 60 degrees. It's 60 degrees today. So it was a little...
That was insane. I know I was just telling you this right before we recorded too, but I'm so salty about it because I did not...
You didn't know.
When I'm working from home, I don't even pay attention to what's happening. I didn't even realize it was 60 degrees until it literally started to like rain here. And I'm so mad I missed it.
But it's probably a good thing that you don't pay attention because you'd just be bummed all day.
That is true. I would have been stuck inside either way.
Yeah, that's really all I have. We did something fun recently.
We did something new, something exciting.
We did something cool. We got to be guests on a podcast.
What?
And that was fun and different.
Do you want to shout out what it is?
Yes. So it's already out at this point. So go listen. It is a podcast about Patrick Swayze, and it is Crazy for Swayze.
I mean, there's no better way you could name it, honestly.
No one's perfect. So we got to watch the movie Ghost, and then we got to have a conversation and discuss our thoughts about Ghost and if it was up to par for what we know about ghosts. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. Really cool host of that show. Really just awesome people. I know Kara kind of knows them a little bit personally, but we got to do something new. So if you guys want to go check that out, the podcast, like she said, is called Crazy for Swayze. We're on their Ghost episode if you want to listen to us. If you are avid Swayze fans and, paranormal weirdos, if you're listening to us, then check out some of their other stuff because they have a whole backlog to go through.
They do. Anyway, that's kind of what we've been up to, right? I don't know what else we've got going on.
I got a bunch of new plants.
You did? I thought you were... How many episodes was it that you said...
I said... I'm not going to stress about the plants. If they choose to die, they're not strong enough to live here. So I replaced everything that was dying. And now I have a bunch of bright, lovely, healthy plants. So
for now.
That's about all that's new with me. It's middle of February now, and me and Julia decided to keep dry January going into February. And every time we talk about it, we extend it again. So right now we're thinking April 8th for 100 days.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I'm 17 days, so.
Hell yeah. Look at us.
We're going.
We're so healthy. We are like the shining picture perfect. If you looked up health in the dictionary, picture of you and me.
Okay, well.
All right, I've lost her. Okay. Well, do you have a question for me?
Okay. I do.
You better.
Okay, I know you're going to know what I'm talking about, but it's just really funny. Okay, does your butthole pucker when you hear somebody knocking at the door? You know what I'm talking about? Like you hear that knock on the door and they're not supposed to be there and your butthole just puckers?
I feel like there's so many different ways you could have asked that question, but...
you know what I'm talking about.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, that happens anytime anybody's at the door that I don't expect it. Even if I expect somebody at this point. So like, I don't know why this is like such a leftover thing from pandemic. But I don't want my food delivery driver to even know that I'm home. Like, me and Julie always joke, like, when they're pulling up, just hit the ground. Don't let them see you.
Well, okay. So I recently saw this reel, and it was about that. How we're grown adults, whatever we are. Are you a millennial? What are you considered?
I'm a millennial.
That's what I thought. Okay. Because it was about millennials. And it was like, millennials are terrified of somebody knocking on their door. And I'm
That?
like, dude, we are.
Or calling.
But the knocking on the door thing is they basically because it's like we were probably left alone home a lot. And we were always told, like, don't answer the door under any circumstances. So we were probably left alone younger than we were supposed to and for a longer time than like children after us were, right? Because
that kind of tracks, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like our trauma of like, oh my God, we're not supposed to open the door under any fucking circumstances. That or it's somebody like preaching.
All right. Well, thanks, Denise. You're the reason why I can't go get my Jimmy John's from the door.
So that I just thought that was so funny. So anyway, that's that. But let's get into why I don't answer the door.
Because you hate everyone and everything?
Well, that, but aside from all of that, are you ready? Because we are just plummeting right in.
Let's do it.
Before I explain my experience, I feel it necessary to tell you how much of a non-believer I was of so many things. I pretty much called BS on everything except spirits. I had too many experiences in my 32 years not to believe in the afterlife and spirits, which I guess now makes me sound a bit silly because why would one be true, but the other unexplainable things not be? Anyways, one evening, about 3 to 6 months ago, I was sitting in my car listening to my favorite Stevie Nicks song and smoking. And before you say anything, I know how bad it is to smoke, and I am fully aware of all the terrible things that smoke can cause. But we are going to die anyway, right? I choose to live my life and enjoy myself and my cigarettes while doing so.
Okay.
So I was
coming from somebody who used to be a smoker of real cigarettes. There is nothing better than sitting in your car with a cigarette listening to Stevie Nicks. I mean, if you've had a long day, you've had a good day, like...
Before you have to enter your house.
There's a perfect song and cigarette for every mood with Stevie Nicks.
So I was in my car, in my own little world. Okay, let me actually pause because Zach clearly knows that this is not me writing this. Listeners might not know. So
I was wondering when you were going to say that.
Yeah. I was going to wait till the end, but then you interrupted with that. And I'm like, I hope people don't actually think I sat in my car smoking because
No.
Okay.
You had your reading voice on. Longtime listeners know.
I tried, yeah. Okay. Anyway. So I was in my car in my own little world when I saw 2 children who seemed to have come out of nowhere begin to head towards my car. I thought it was strange, especially being as late as it was, but hey, who am I to judge? I thought they would pass by and continue on their walk to wherever, but I quickly realized they were approaching my driver's side window. Creepy, but okay. I chose to just get out instead of rolling my windows down because I felt rolling the windows down was a bit rude. And to be honest, I wanted to be as close to my front door as possible. You know, just in case things got weird. And boy, did they get weird. As I was getting out, one of the children, a little girl about 6, asked, why was I getting out? I simply answered, because I'm heading in for the night. I followed up with, you guys okay? They both quickly responded, no, we are scared. The other child, a little boy, asked, may we sit in your car until our parents come?
No.
I thought, until your parents come? Where are these parents and where are they coming to? I asked where they lived, in which they both answered, down the road. So I told them it was getting late and they better just head home. At that moment, both children peered up at me at the exact same time, and it was then I noticed their eyes. Eyes like I've never seen before. Dark, very dark eyes. Eyes that were unnaturally dark and cold. So cold. I immediately got uncomfortable feeling. I have goosebumps right now. The kind of feeling that makes the fight or flight kick in. I knew I needed to get away from these kids and quick. I told them I was heading in, and the little girl asked, may we come in?
No.
I, of course, said no. And it was then that the polite children started putting off an almost annoyed and angry vibe. I again told the children they needed to head home, and the best I could do was call the police when I got inside. I said goodbye and headed toward the front door. They followed. It was time I got assertive. These children were not coming in my home. They both began mumbling things I could not make out, but whatever it was they were saying did not sound kind. I made it inside, turned to lock the door when the knocking began. Are you kidding me? Why won't these kids get the hint? I was not answering the door. No way. I called my boyfriend and explained everything. He thought I sounded crazy, but agreed to head over and stay the night so I would feel safer. Needless to say, the children eventually gave up and went back to whatever creepy, soulless hole they crawled out of. I hate to talk about kids like that, but these were not normal kids, not even close. I've never seen these black-eyed children since. I pray I never see them again. I am by no means a writer, so I apologize for my grammar and punctuation mistakes. I felt the need to share this story in hopes that others can offer advice or at least let me know I'm not the only one. I can't be the only one, right? And that was from writer Danny Marie 1023. So if you haven't realized, we are talking about my worst nightmare.
Children?
Black-eyed kids.
I actually haven't heard this term before, so I'm excited for this. But real quick, before you get into it, for anybody who's playing the drinking game, Kara did say that she has goosebumps one time, but she has not said that she hates anything yet.
Okay. Anyway, so black-eyed kids. So they're also known as black-eyed children or BEK, which is what we are going to refer to them because I'm not trying to summon them to my door.
Was Fergie one of these?
I don't think so. Why?
Oh, peas. Sorry, that's my dad joke for the day.
I was like, what?
Yeah, that
did I miss a song or something? That's funny. Okay.
All right, go on.
Okay. Now, there is not a lot of information about BEK. This to me makes it more terrifying because I know in like multiple episodes you and I have talked, when there's way too much information, it's almost like it's not believable. But when there's like kind of like not a lot, you're almost like,
Do you feel the most powerful and beautiful with the elements of the earth around you? Do you like one-of-a-kind jewelry? Do you sometimes feel like a woodland fairy? Me too. That's why I created Holly and Hemlock, a magical shop filled with handmade wooden jewelry and metaphysical tools. Come check out our enchanting wooden wares at www.hollyhemlock.com and join us in honoring the magic and beauty of nature with each unique creation. That's www.hollyhemlock.com.
Right. There's not like it doesn't have all those fluff details that make things,
Yeah.
And it's your favorite thing, creepy children. We know how much you love those.
Okay, so let's get into this. BEK are normal in appearance as far as looking like children. They range from 6 to 16 in age. And as far as people can tell, they tend to have like pale skin. So they do kind of look abnormally pale sometimes. Now, the first oddity that people notice from these children is the clothing that they wear. Their clothes are commonly dated for the time they're currently in, or they don't match like what a child that age would wear. So it's just like kind of strange. Like they're just either really dated or you're like, that 6-year-old shouldn't be wearing that type of clothing. Like it's just strange. Like
it's given like Men in Black vibes, right? When they show up in their suits that are like nice suits, but from 2 decades ago.
If you let me finish.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
I'll shut up.
It's fine. No, it really is though. It gives that. And this kind of makes people think that they're like homeless or they're in need. Cause sometimes like, when you see kids that are in need, they're wearing clothes that are way too small for them or way too big. So sometimes like that's kind of the vibe that people get when they see these children, which makes sense. If you come in close proximity to BEK, you will most likely have a wave of unease or come over you. People will note that looking at the children, there is nothing that is scary about them, but they still get this anxiety and like feeling like this gut feeling of terror. And like, let's trust your gut because children are the devil.
Always trust that intuition.
Just kidding.
And children. No, children. She's not kidding. Children are the devil.
Most. So anyway, though, so you'll look at these kids. They look normal. There's really seemingly nothing scary about them. They just look like a little damn child. And like, but you just feel really afraid and uneasy. And like, you're like, what the hell? It's a kid,
Yes.
What the heck? The children will also have a tone or vocabulary that seems like too mature or not fitting for that child. So they just say things that you're like, that's weird. Like, why would you?
Like beyond their age kind of thing?
Yeah. Or just like seemingly like out of the time. That word or vocabulary is just like not something that's used anymore. Just like things like that. Like just people note really strange things that they say. Like there definitely wouldn't be saying bussin' or vibe check.
What about gyat?
And did your girl have to Google 2024 slang words? Yes, I did.
I've hit that age where
I don't know.
I'm lost on TikTok. I don't know what a gyat is or skibbity or phantom tax.
Oh, I don't know what the fuck that. I like bussin', I guess is good, but I don't understand why. What does that even That's fine.
I don't know, but you're straight bussing today.
So
no cap.
here's where
I'm done.
we just lost all of our listeners.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
These old ass. All right. Here's where we get into like the bad part, I guess you could say. BEK will come to you when you are typically alone or singled out and you're like in a closed area. Okay.
Ooh.
So like your house, your car, they're not coming like out in the open.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now this does seem fine because like you can shut your door, you can drive away, but they show up and they're like appearing lost or helpless. And remember, these are children, so the likeliness of you helping a child is higher than an adult. If you see a child that's asking for help, you're more likely to be like, okay, what can, like, you know, do you need to use my phone? Like something like that versus like an adult asking you for help.
There's still something though about like, I know you said like it's not like they're in an open place, it's somewhere where you can shut the door. And we talked about this, I think, back on the Goatman's Bridge episode, but like, I know you may have very differing things, but I don't know if I want to be like in an enclosed area where there's things outside, because then it's like my only escape route they can block.
Yeah.
Where,
no,
like,
yeah.
I would rather be like
episode.
not have doors. That actually makes me feel worse. And I don't know why.
No, yeah, we did discuss this. And I do understand exactly where you're coming from. Basically, seeing a child in disarray or danger will spark feelings to like nurture. So a lot of people, even though they have that gut feeling like, ooh, this is weird. But then they're like, okay, is that gut feeling because a child is in need? You know what I mean? Like, so then they're like, okay,
right,
maybe I need to help this child. They will always ask for something. Okay. They're needy little shits.
As kids are.
So, right. So they will ask for a ride to their house, to use your phone, something involving coming into where you are. So this is where you're like, oh, like you'd be dead. Like you'd be dying inside.
Are these like little vampire children or something? Is that where we're going?
I don't know. We'll get into it.
Okay.
They are always wanting something though. So yeah, I need a ride to my house, or can I use your phone? It's cold. Can I come in? Like they're asking you for something that's going to, in return, you have to let them into it's mostly vehicles and houses, really, like your vehicle, your home, whatever.
And it makes sense for kids too, right? Because like in general, kids they have a lack of boundaries when it comes to personal, you know what I mean? Like I've had kids who I've talked to once come up and be like, can I play games on your phone? Like, no, you're not touching my phone. Yeah,
no, absolutely. It's that innocence. Like, so it's right. Kind of not weird.
Yeah.
And that's why people say there's really nothing scary about them.
Got it.
It's just like a vibe.
Unease.
Yeah. Okay. So, where were we? Okay. Have you heard of the uncanny valley effect?
Yes. It's so uncomfortable.
Okay. So the effect is hypothesized psychological and aesthetic relation between an object's degree of resemblance to a human being and the emotional response to the object. So the uncanny valley hypothesis predicts that an entity appearing almost human will risk eliciting eerie feelings in viewers. And this is kind of why dolls scare people.
Or the movie Polar Express.
Yes.
If you need a visual representation of Uncanny Valley,
you are correct.
The not cinematography, the animation in that, like where it's like they're kind of human but don't look quite, but it just makes you feel a little unsettled by how real they look.
Yeah.
That's the Uncanny Valley.
That's perfect. When the mind sees something that is meant to be something else, it kind of gives you that feeling of like off, like as a warning. So really with anything, like if it's just like, you're like, that looks like it's supposed to be this, but it's not quite there. And that is weird.
Yeah. Your brain just registers a threat and you're right into fight or flight.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, like your alarms are going off in your brain. You know, like in the movies where it's like you have all those little people in your brain, like they're pushing just, like, different buttons. Yeah, that's what it is. Like push the alarm. Okay. So you'll have this feeling that you need to help these poor unfortunate souls. Cue Ursula and her eels. But
all right.
Poor unfortunate soul.
Before anybody listens to the next episode coming out next week, I had that same line in my notes before Kara said it this episode. I'll cut it. It's been stuck in my head all day, though. I love the synchronicity there.
Don't cut it. Okay. Shit, where was I? For unfortunate souls. Okay, so BEKs seem to use like a low-level hypnotism, and people often report unconsciously starting to let them in or thinking about opening the car door for them, like things like that. So they're like, something's not right, but like, they're poor little children, so let me open the car door and let them in. Let me let them into my house. Like, yes, you can use my phone. But the uncanny valley effect kicks in, and that's when they notice what's off. So before they had really no idea what was off, like just they're poor little kids. And then all of a sudden that kind of like kicks in, like the person pushes the button in your brain, like abort, and they have black eyes. No distinguishable pupil or iris, just pitch black.
Ooh.
And it's strange because people always say they never noticed it at first. And it's not like they just went black. It's that weird effect that they have on people. Like they hypnotize you almost. Yeah.
It's almost illusion-ish.
Yeah. Because it's not really like, they don't really hypnotize you enough to like really overpower you, because most of the time people are like, yeah, fuck no, bye. So it's like low. That's why they say it's kind of like a low degree of hypnotism. But yeah, maybe it is just like a there's like a glamour.
There's a psychological phenomenon for that where it's like those videos like where people are playing basketball and the person in the gorilla walks by and you don't even register it till like somebody points it out to you and then you watch the video again. Like you're just blind to certain things.
All right. So then you come to and you refuse what they are requesting. And this is when they become agitated or aggressive. So they start like pleading and demanding you abide, but still trying to be like a little kid and like nice, like, please, mister, let me in. Like where you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like creepy, like Tiny Tim, but crazy. I don't know. What does he say?
Tiny Tim?
Yeah. What? Doesn't he have like a line like that? Please, mister?
No, you're thinking Oliver Twist. Oh, please, sir, could I have some more?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that's Oliver Twist, bro.
Whatever. They're both needy children.
Tiny Tim is not just like a needy kid. He's like dying.
Yeah, he's needy.
You need to keep going.
I just don't want to be wrong here.
Probably as much as Tiny Tim and Oliver Twist didn't want to be hungry. They're just
oh my god, I'm dead. I am crying.
Oh.
Okay. Whew. All right. So basically they'll plead, demand, whatever. The timing for like how long they linger just depends, but they will ultimately go away and they typically don't revisit, which is good. Because can you imagine them going back over and over again? Anyway, I have no idea what happens to you if you let them in, but I can't imagine that it's, for tea and crumpets.
No.
So I would just suggest don't let them in. And so you had already kind of said this, but I said basically it just gives me like the Men in Black vibes because like you said, like there's something that registers like this is not a human, or like their clothes, their language, like everything's like dated and weird. It just doesn't fit. But also you're like, but like you just can't figure out what's off.
Okay.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Because I do say Men in Black, they do like their language. Sometimes you're like their verbiage of things is like dated. They almost have that uncanny valley effect where it's like,
oh, for sure.
I'm looking at a human, but like, what?
It's very similar to Men in Black, but I feel like the Men in Black don't.
Well, it's not completely similar.
Right. So like the difference I see is on that hypnotism, and I have maybe an idea on that, but I'll let you keep going and I'll give my thoughts.
All right. So that's kind of one thing, the Men in Black thing. You kind of said it earlier. Some people think that they are or are some type of vampire because they do need permission to come in and they lure you in a way like a vampire would. Like they kind of have that low hypnotism type thing, like the allure, like you're like, what? Like a vampire would, and the permission part. And some people think that they're just aliens. Okay. Demons come up a lot, little freaking demon children, which, yeah, that makes sense to me. Little black-eyed fuckers.
I disagree on that one. That one doesn't land for me just because of the one time and done.
I don't think that they're demons, but people do. Like, children are demons, so. A lot of thought, though, is that they are working for something or someone else. Like that they're bait, right? So that's kind of like a big theory, is that are they working for the Men in Black, or are they like
You're getting closer to kind of my thought on it, which do we know where the sightings are?
They're like everywhere.
Okay. The one thing you had said, right, is they're one and done. You see them and then you don't.
Okay. I didn't see anything that said anybody has seen them more than once.
Okay. Here's my thought on that, right? So are the stories we're getting only from people who have had the hypnotism broken? Maybe. So is it the people who break the hypnotism are only seeing them once because they're like, okay, they figured it out. We need to move on to the next one. And there could be people who are seeing them multiple. And like,
maybe,
I don't know.
That's a good theory.
The black eyes, right? And like the presenting as children. The reason why I asked where they are is it's reminiscent of all the goblin sightings with the black eyes, the little things like looking in your windows, that kind of thing. But those aren't typically they're not going to speak to you, right? Like you'll see them in the window and stuff, but that's where like people disappear a lot near the cave systems and the goblins and all. Very Newkirk, Hellier kind of route we're going down now.
Yeah.
But it's like, it kind of in a new way reminds me of that. And I don't know if I'm just trying to like draw it together with the hypnotism, but
there really isn't or like one heavily sided thought of what they are.
Okay.
But I kind of said is it's really heavily thought though that they are working for something or somebody else, which kind of makes sense because they're appearing of children, like helpless, needy. They need something. So it's like, you're more likely to help a child in need than an adult in need. It's just how we are. Like I said, there's not a lot of info about them other than like what I just gave you, but there are a lot of encounters.
Perfect. When was the first encounter?
Well, I don't know, 2000 something, but I can tell you when the first encounter was.
Okay, cool.
What were you going to say though?
No, I was going to keep going on the other one, but then you said first encounter and I got excited about that. So forget it.
Okay. Brian Bethel was said to be the first report of BEK, and that was in 1996.
Okay.
So Brian was in his car and he was getting ready to get out and pay his internet bill. And this building was near a movie theater, and because he could see the marquee of like the showing times. And I cannot remember what state this was in, but that's okay. Okay, so he's in his car and he's like signing something. Like, you know how you're sitting in your car before you get out, you're doing something, right? Yeah. So he's looking down. He's like not really paying attention to his surroundings. He's like parked, blah, blah, blah. He's doing something. I think he was signing a check or something. I don't know. All of a sudden, two boys around the age of 9 and 12 are just appeared at his window and they're knocking on it. So can you imagine how startled you'd be? Like we were just looking down doing something, and then all of a sudden, like, and they're on the driver's side window. They're just literally right freaking there knocking on your window. So the one boy says that they are going to see Mortal Kombat and they forgot their money. And they asked for a ride to their house to get the money from their mom. And Brian thought, and this is a quote, it wouldn't take long. They were just two little kids. They didn't have a gun or anything. So he's thinking like, what's the harm? And they said it was like down the street. It wasn't far, like, whatever. He finds himself like almost unconsciously reaching to open the door. So kind of like we were talking about, like you just are like, oh yeah, like you don't even think about it and you're doing it. And like he said that he glanced at the marquee and the movie Mortal Kombat had already started. That's kind of like what made him think like, well, that's weird because it already started. I think it was it's already started playing. Now I've got to drive these kids all the way to their house, get their money, drive them all the way back. They're going to miss like so much of the movie.
Like that red flag just goes.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird. He thinks it's odd, but they still want like they still want it. So like when he snaps back to reality, Eminem style, he realizes
that, there goes gravity.
Yes, that they have completely black eyes. So again, he had no idea. They're right by his face. And it wasn't until he kind of snapped out of it that he realized that they're completely freakishly black eyes. When the kids realize that he like read the marquee and now they can tell that he realizes their eyes are black, they start to get really aggressive. And they're basically just like, please, mister, it won't take that long. Like, just let us in. And they're just getting like really just like assertive, and they're like banging on the window. Like, oh my God, can you freaking imagine?
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, he wastes no time. He throws the car in gear. He reverses it. And he drives away. His internet got cut off that month. Just kidding. I don't know. He didn't pay that bill. But as he looks in the rearview mirror, the children are gone. They're not even there anymore, like within seconds. And he's like, there's nowhere that they could have even gone, because it was like, I picture like a strip type of mall, like with a building, a movie theater. Like there's nowhere they could have just like ran.
Do they ever show up on like a camera or like any of these businesses CCTV or anything?
I don't know. I never. It's mostly though. Well, yeah, I don't know. I think it's mostly houses. So no one said that they. I don't know. So after that, we cut to BEK encounters spreading like wildfire. So whether it's just because now people feel like they could talk about it because somebody else has experienced it, or it's just that's kind of when they came and started. I don't know. So let's hear a couple more.
All right.
So all these encounters come from Reddit or Thought Catalog. Okay. So are you ready?
I guess.
If you're not, we can stop.
No, it's okay. I'm ready. I promise.
No, I'm not.
This isn't ASMR time.
They might like it. Okay. The incident took place about 13 years ago. I had just moved to a new city with my wife. We were small town newlyweds from the Midwest. We moved across country to one of the biggest cities in the Southwest so I could attend graduate school. Being naive and new to the city living, I habitually answered the door without a second thought. Never again after this. The first thing that should have tipped me off to this I cannot say this word. Peculiarity? Thank you. Off this situation was the fact that someone was knocking at 6 a.m. This
illegal, straight to jail.
Right. The second thing that should have dawned on me is this kid would have had to reach over a rather tall patio gate to unlatch and open it. The knock at the door was startling. My wife and I were getting ready for work, a pretty normal routine. The moment I opened the door, I was overtaken with an inexplicable, thank you, sense of fear. To this day, I can picture him. Teenager, average height, average build, knee-length black leather coat, short black hair, and sunglasses. The sunglasses at 6 a.m. struck me as odd, and even more odd, he was eating an apple. He was very polite. The only time
I've had fruit at 6 a.m. and sunglasses on is when I'm fighting a bad hangover.
He was very polite and asked if he could come in and warm up. I said no, closed the door, and slid the security chain into place. A moment later, another knock. I opened the now chained door, and before I could speak, he asked again if he could come in and warm up. No, I replied, and attempted to close the door. Before the door could shut, he put his hand out, stopping the door on its hinges.
I'm breaking fingers.
He looked directly into my eyes, still wearing his sunglasses, and said, "Can I at least get some ketchup for my apple?" "Fuck that," I reply, a little confused. "Get the hell out of here. My wife is calling the police." He takes a moment to let the information sink in, lowers his sunglasses, revealing eyes as black as obsidian, and says, "No, you won't be calling anybody." At that moment, I forced the door closed, locked it, and called out to my wife. She is scared shitless, hiding in the bathroom. All jacked up on adrenaline, I ripped the curtains back to look out the window next to the door. He's gone. Absolutely no trace of him. I go out to the patio and check the gate. It's still latched from the inside. That was fucked up, I think to myself. And as I turned to enter the house, I noticed a half-eaten apple lying on the ground.
Like he just dematerialized right there.
Yeah. And so the weird thing is, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, is things are wrong. Like they don't know, right? Like a ketchup for my apple. Like
asking for ketchup is a very common, I mean, not from your neighbor, right? But like I could see if you're not quite human, you could see why that would be a common thing.
You wouldn't put ketchup on a damn apple.
No, that's disgusting. Also straight to jail for that.
Right.
I would have freaked out too, like turning around and seeing the half-eaten apple and been like, did it go inside the house when I stepped out?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That was from writer Hammer Hands, just so I don't forget to give credit. I know. But yeah, that one's really weird because, 6 a.m. Can I come in to warm up? It's like they don't know what to, they don't know what to ask for or like how to. Because, why would you just say,
it's like they have an understanding of what humans
but not fully
would fall for. But, they don't have a mastery of it.
Yeah. Can I come and warm up and can I have ketchup for my apple?
Yeah, I'd be
Are
saying
you
fuck
on
no
drugs?
too.
Drugs.
And knocking at 6 a.m.
Wouldn't it be funny if that was just a teenager on drugs? Their pupils are like really dilated.
Right.
So it's like, these are all just kids on drugs.
It's just shrooms.
We figured it out.
Mystery
Oh.
solved.
All right. So here is your maybe answer to one of your questions from earlier.
Okay.
I helped them once. Never, ever, under any circumstances, do it.
Oh.
I'm not sure what they do, but it feels as if they're ripping your soul out. They get really close to you and you get amazingly drowsy. If it weren't for my girlfriend showing up mid-invasion and kicking them out, I probably would be dead. I didn't even see the black eyes until I had let them in. They're getting smarter.
Energy vampires.
Uh-huh.
I'm going more and more vampire.
Yeah. Little like offshoot vampire breeds. That's from Pyric_Landcaster. Yeah, no, that one was like, oh my God, they would have just, I wonder what it would have been like. Like your body probably would have still been there. So I wonder if they would have just been like, oh, he died of a heart attack.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless they just like suck energy and don't kill. Maybe they're nice vampires.
Well, I don't know. He said he felt he would have been dead. Like he was sure he would have been dead if his girlfriend didn't get there.
Yeah, but him saying he is sure and actually knowing the intent.
Okay. Whatever. Moving forward.
I'll be their lawyer.
They're going to show up at your door.
We need your legal help.
I live in a big city in South BC. What's South BC? Why can't I?
British Columbia,
Thank you.
Canada.
I was like, what? I live in a big city in South BC, and it's 11:52 here as I type this. I had just got home from The Conjuring. Scary shit, I'm telling you. I was lurking on our creepy, I don't know what that is, and heard a knock on the door.
It's a Reddit thread.
I kind of figured. Okay. I walked over confused because I live alone and I'm a recluse. So it's like us. He was like, why is somebody knocking on my door? As I approached the door, I felt pure terror. The feeling you get when you feel like death is imminent or you're facing your biggest fear. When I opened the door, I was shaking madly. I was staring into the face of a 6'3" teenage girl. She was still 4 inches shorter than me, but I felt like I was about to faint. She asked if she could enter the premises because her mom had left town and she lost her keys. She claimed she needed a couch to sleep on and was cold. I blinked and screamed bloody murder, slamming the door in her face. I ran to my room and grabbed my revolver. Yeah, illegal, I know. And sat in the recliner facing the door until I dozed off. When I woke up, I looked outside and she was gone.
That's how you know it's Canada right there, is it's illegal to grab a gun in your own home.
I know. When I woke up, I looked outside and she was gone, but the word soon was scratched weakly into my door.
See, again, there with the, like, sort of got it, but not quite. Like, I lost my keys.
Can I enter your premises?
So now I need to stay on your couch. Like, I can call a locksmith for you, but, like, it's like they're saying correct phrases that just don't add up.
Yeah, like, but you wouldn't say, can I enter the premises?
I don't know. They're Canadian. They're a little more polite than us.
Oh, maybe. That was from Foo Master, too. But I don't know. I just don't know. Okay. Here's one that we might... I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Okay. So a month ago, my friend was talking to me about these creepy-ass kids that were hanging around his house. He seemed scared, like he was about to shit his pants, and he doesn't scare easily. He said they always wanted to use his phone and wanted to come in, but he always said no. A week ago, he told me he was going to let them in, and I didn't really give any attention. But he's been missing ever since. I've gone over to his house, but it's empty, and his cell phone number isn't going through. Does anyone know what happened to him? I've heard about BEKs just now, and I don't know what they do. Is he alive? Please help. I am seriously freaked the fuck out. And that is from Psychotic Land Shark. Here's the thing. I know I told you that I didn't read anything about them coming back because I didn't read anybody saying that they came back to them. He's just saying that his friend said that they kept coming back. and now his friend is missing.
Okay, see, that though goes with my original theory of they're not seeing them again because the ones who see them again are getting dragged into caves.
Maybe, but I don't,
because the hypnotism works.
I don't know if I believe that one, just because. What do you call the cops?
Yeah.
Like, what do you report your friend missing? Like, why are we on Reddit?
I was gonna say, when it comes to Reddit and it's like that, and it's always like the friend of story, I'm quite a bit more skeptical. Especially because I feel like, especially our creepy is like...
No, that was from the other one.
Oh, okay. I was saying, those ones to me sometimes read more like campfire stories than take it as fact.
Anyway, so what are your feelings?
They're vampire kids who work for cave goblins.
Why would vampires be working for goblins? Like,
I
for what?
know.
What do they get out of it?
They just seem, maybe it's just goblins dressed up like kids then. Or vampire kids. If I'm going to be more serious, I guess. Why can't they just
be vampires?
Because you kept saying they were working for somebody. You put the thought in my head.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are. It's just...
Well, that's my opinion.
Fine, they're fucking vampire children working for goblins.
You don't have to have my opinion. What do you think?
No. Well, you know what? I truly think that they're just their own thing. Like, I don't necessarily think that they have to be something other than that they're just black-eyed children. I don't know why we always have to fit something into something else. You know what I mean? However, the vampire aspect really does make a lot of sense to me. So maybe they are like a little bit of an offshoot breed of like a...
It does kind of give me like the whole vampire vibe with, especially...
No, for sure.
The energy vampire with like the getting sleepy and the hypnotism. Like those are... I'm cold, I need to warm up. And vampires can't eat human... They can't eat human food. So of course they wouldn't know that you don't put ketchup on an apple.
Well, it really just depends on what you go off. Because some people say that they can eat human food, it just doesn't taste that great when you turn, so they just had not to eat it.
Fair.
Anyway, yeah, ketchup on a fucking apple. Okay, can you try that?
No, I will literally, I'm already gagging in my mouth just thinking about it, because it's disgusting.
Okay, I'll give you $5.
500, bro. No. First of all, I hardly eat fruit as it is, okay? I'm proud of myself because I eat more vegetables this week than I have in probably 6 months.
If you were to put ketchup on an apple, what kind of apple do you think it would be?
Not a Granny Smith. I feel like I'd have to find a more mild apple because like the acid from the ketchup is, I need like a Red Delicious.
Okay.
Right? Is that what they're called?
I think so.
We're going with that. I don't know a lot about apples.
All right. So anyway, that is Black-Eyed Kids, Black-Eyed Children, BEK. I just think that if there are really any children asking for any sort of assistance, even if they don't have black eyes, just maybe call the police or authorities. I'm going to be that person right now where I'm like, this is going to be whatever it is. People use children all the time to lure you into things. So I think whether they're black-eyed children or not, if there's...
I was going to say the same. Like, it's such a shame that...
It is.
You know, now it's like you can't help anybody at night because they could be a front for something else or whatever, you know? But
even in the day.
I would say, though, for sure, whether they have black eyes or not, you realize it or not, if you get a bad feeling, man, intuition is part of our biology, whether you believe in woo-woo science or not. Trust your gut. Don't be helping kids. Just never help kids. Don't do it.
Just not even your own. Not even your own kids. Don't help them.
And make sure you tell your kids, Denise, not to ever open the door for anybody so they grow up. Don't fucking
open that door.
Afraid to get their food from the delivery man.
Your butthole puckers. Fucking millennials.
Oh, love you, Mom. All right. No, that was a good one. So I guess too, if you've ever had any experiences with the black-eyed kids or just like kind of some strange human-y interactions with people that left you feeling unsettled, write in, let us know. It's 2024, Kara. We need to give the people what they want. We need to figure out a way for them to drop us voice memos.
We can do that. We'll just get a Google voice.
If you want voice memos, write in and let us know that you want to leave voice recordings instead.
Write in.
I know what I said.
I love it.
Otherwise, though, if you want to write something up too, you can go and drop us a review on Apple or Spotify. We'd love you forever. What else can they do, Kara?
What are you playing with?
Oh, I've been cleaning my phone case. It's a little cleaning cloth.
Keep this all in. First off, for those that obviously cannot see, Zach has just been looking down and twisting in his chair back and forth, but like clearly doing something else other than listening to me.
Okay, no, here's the deal is you know this, I listen better when I fidget with something.
It's fine. I just wanted to know what you were fidgeting.
But before we started this recording, I moved all the things I usually fidget with to a pile over here.
Okay.
So that I wouldn't. And I don't know at what point I started taking apart my phone case, but I did.
Okay, anyway, talk to us on social media. Give us some ideas of episodes because we have a lot of thoughts, but we want to hear what you would like to hear. We also want to hear things that have happened to you, all the things. I'm rambling because I really have to go pee. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening.
Just say the catchphrase.
And we hope you continue listening. And most importantly, creepy real yeah balls.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oddity Shop.